Joining me now from Tel Aviv is Eylon Levy, a spokesperson for the Israeli government. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me on the show.
So now that this deal has been approved by Israel's cabinet, what happens next and when will this happen?
Well, first of all, there is now a 24-hour window in which the victims of the terrorists who are supposed to be released as part of this deal, the families of those victims, are able to petition the Supreme Court against their release. The people we are supposed to release as part of this deal are sitting in Israeli jails on various terrorism and security offenses. There are people there who have been charged and convicted of attempted murder. There's a 17-year-old, for example, who left another teenager with serious injuries after stabbing him. So we're talking about very dangerous people, and the families of those victims have a right to appeal. But on the presumption that the Supreme Court does not reject the deal, we have a measure of judicial review. On the assumption the Supreme Court does not reject that, then hopefully we can move forward to begin to bring home those 50 hostages out of the 240 who have been living through absolute hell for nearly 50 days without access to the Red Cross. We know nothing of their medical condition. They will be traumatized and scarred, especially the children. I mean, there's a 3-year-old orphan in there, an American citizen as well, whose father was murdered in front of her eyes. And we're keen to bring them home and bring them back to safety.
And what more can you tell us about those 50 women and children that are on that list, that initial release of hostages that are currently being held by Hamas in Gaza? Can you at least give us an idea of who would be on that list, or who is on that list?
Well, we know that there are over 30 children who are being held hostage by Hamas, including one as young as only 10 months old, abducted together with his brother and mother into the Gaza Strip. We know that they've been held for nearly 50 days by the men who burned, beheaded, tortured, mutilated, and raped these people's families and neighbors in the massacre on October 7th. We know they're being held by dangerous terrorists, and we hope that we can bring all of them back as soon as possible to their families and support them on the very difficult path ahead of helping these people build healthy and normal lives after the unimaginable horror and trauma that they have been facing.
And Israel has published the names of 300 Palestinian prisoners for possible release in exchange for hostages in Gaza. Of course, we're just talking about 150 at this point. 150 would be released, women and children, from Israeli jails in exchange for the 50 hostages being held by Hamas in Gaza. But talk to us about why publish a list of 300? What does that indicate?
That list is public. You can look through it yourself and see the charges that these people and their convictions, many on attempted stabbings, attempted murder, including those who are under 18, including the women. Now, the reason that we have published so many is that as part of this deal, we expect at least 50 hostages to be released over the course of 4 days. The ball will then be in Hamas's court. For every additional day that it wants of a temporary pause, it can release another 10 hostages. We want to bring all of those hostages home. So we've prepared a list so that the ball is in Hamas's court. If it wants more time, it can release more hostages. Otherwise, we will continue, and we will continue at the end of this with our campaign to destroy Hamas. That is the ultimate goal of this war. This war will end with the end of Hamas, because Hamas is telling us it wants to perpetrate another October 7th massacre. On October 7th, it showed us what it is capable of, and we will not go back to a world in which Hamas can perpetrate such atrocities against our people. So we're working to bring back our hostages and to destroy the terror organization that has put them through that trauma.
And how confident are you that all the hostages currently being held by Hamas in Gaza will be released, including the men? And we're talking about nearly 240 people here, aren't we?
We're, of course, extremely anxious for them. We know that they're being held by violent terrorists who committed unspeakable atrocities against the Israeli people on October 7th. We also know they haven't had access to the Red Cross, so we don't know their medical condition. We know there were people who were abducted into the Gaza Strip after having their limbs blown off in that horrific massacre of October 7th. We don't know what their health situation is like. And we're going to do everything that we can in order to bring all of them home. That is the declared goal of this war. We want to bring them all home. We want to bring them all safe, and we will not rest until we bring all of them back. We're starting with the women and the children, but the young men's lives are worth no less, and we're doing everything we can to bring them home and to make sure that this can never, ever happen again.
Eylon Levy joining us live from Tel Aviv. Many thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.